How's it going, everybody? Junkyard Genius here. And today, we're going to talk about everyone's favorite topic, finances, and why you need to get a hold of yours ASAP. This is kind of one of those things that, everyone has a negative opinion on. I think it's something like 90% of this country is living paycheck to paycheck. That is insane. And while I am, I am cash broke, okay? Let's just get the cash out of the bag. I am 100% cash broke right now. I got like $80 to work with till next payday. But I'm not broke. I'm not poor. I can come up with $1,000 if I absolutely have to. Does it suck? Yeah, because that would probably be all my savings. That would be all my free cash. But today, we're just going to kind of talk about the basics. And why and how you need to get your finances in order right now. First things first. If you don't know where your money's going, if you feel like you're making good money and you're not, but you're living paycheck to paycheck, might be time to go to your bank, grab a statement. Hey, can you print me off last 2 months, 3 months of my financials? They'll do it. They'll give you like a printout of a list of your expenses. And you might need to sit down and write out, hey, all the money allocated towards eating out, all the money allocated towards online spending, all the money allocated towards streaming services, coffee. Yeah, I know. I'm not going to tell you to get rid of the coffee in the morning, stop spending on anything and everything. But you know what? Everyone else is doing that. Everyone else is spending on all that crap. You need to be an extreme. If you want to get anywhere with your finances, you need to be an extreme. It sucks to say, okay? Believe me, it's not a topic I want to talk about, but it's a topic that, especially as most strong men in this world, we need to broach. We need to start getting into it. If you're 25, if you're 30, and you still don't have a hold of your finances, if you don't know where every dollar of your finances are going, you're fixing to be broke till your 40s, your 50s. You're fixing to retire with nothing. Yeah, you can put money into a 401k and hope to God that when you're 70, you can retire. Believe me, they're talking about it. They're talking about making that a 70, that you're not going to be able to retire till you're 70, 75, 80. And most people these days are working well past. Because they're broke. They got nothing. Maybe some of them contributed 10, 15 years to a 401k, and they're fucking broke. So, the next thing you need to do when you get a hold of your finances is cut. And again, I get it, it's hard. Statistically, I think it's like 3 out of 4 people in this country have PTSD through financial means. That is insane. So, if you want to have a future, if you want to build any sort of financial freedom, the old saying, money can't buy you happiness. Yeah, it fucking can. Let's be honest. Yeah, it fucking can. Okay? Because when you start understanding money, you understand how money works. You understand how money is a route not towards happiness, but towards financial freedom. Then you have the freedom to do what you want to do. You're not stressed out about, how am I going to make my bills? How am I going to make my rent? Am I going to make my car payment? You'll have money to be like, yeah, I can take that job that's a lower paying, that it, might give me new avenues, might advance my career, might just be something I'm fucking interested in. You can do that because you have money squared away in assets. If you don't understand how to do this stuff, that is okay. Now listen, I am 100% not a financial advisor here. Okay? I'm just giving you basic guidelines on how an average guy is attempting to get myself out of debt and into financial freedom. And we're not talking like get rich quick. Anyone that's going to tell, you can become a millionaire, or, you could save hundreds of thousands of dollars in a year. Fuck those guys. They're full of shit. Okay? Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I can tell right now, finances are fucking simple. Most financial cut sheets, it's fourth grader math, bro. It's sixth grader math. Like, it's just adding and subtracting. Yeah, it can get a little bit more complicated, especially when you get into like taxes and learning how to do them. I don't really understand taxes. I'll just say that straight out. I barely understand taxes. But, especially when you get into being a little bit more richer, you have a little bit more money go around, you'll need to start understanding taxes. But that's a video for another day. So, the third thing you want to do after you start cutting, after you figure out any way, build up a safety net. Whether that be $500, $1,000, any money that you can find to allocate towards getting a safety net, do it. If you don't have $500 to $1,000 saved, minimum, you're in trouble. You're fixing to be up shit creek without a fucking paddle. And trust me, that is not a fun time. I've been there. That's what I've got going for myself right now. I have about $1,000 in raw cash that is just for a safety net, which I'm dipping into this month or this week for my gas. Yeah, I'm broke. I'm broke. But these are the steps I'm doing personally as a non-financial advisor and starting to allocate money towards, buying assets, kind of trying to get myself out of that. And the fourth thing you can do after you start building yourself a safety net of just some raw cash or putting into maybe like a high yield savings account, do your own research on everything that I'm telling you. And this is just general guidelines that is just good advice on how to start allocating more resources to getting out of debt. The next thing you can do is start evaluating your debt. Do you have a lot of it? A lot of people, I think it's the majority of Americans have something like $8,000 to $10,000 in debt in the year 2025. Start trying to chip away at that. And there's a bunch of different debt methods you can use. Try to get rid of the highest interest first, or just, use the cascading effect. Do your own research and what works best for you. Whatever you can do, just start trying to get out of debt. And the fifth thing I think everyone should be doing right now to get out of debt and start building actual financial security and financial freedom, open either a brokerage or Roth or whatever you decide. Do your own research on what those are. Whether it be a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA, a brokerage, and just allocate, go right into your boss's office or HR, get a wireless transfer paperwork for your paycheck and allocate $50 or $100 into that account and invest it every paycheck. Start investing into something, whether that be ETFs, yes, index funds, something. Do your own research. My personal recommendation as a non-financial advisor would be start simple. Start with the ETFs. Start with the index funds. I personally am investing in the S&P 500. It's probably the easiest thing you can start off with, and it's traditionally every year produced 7 to 10% returns. That is your best bet. look up the laws and the basics with those. I think currently in 2025, it's about $7,000 you can contribute every year to a Roth IRA. If you can max that out, great. If not, just do what you can. Do what you can. But also check with your employer. See if they offer a 401k. If they do, see if they offer a match. That is also a good way to go. If you can get the match, get the match. It's literally free money. I'm just an average guy. And believe me, I don't understand everything with finances. But especially if you want to get any sort of financial freedom at any point in your life, you need to start understanding a little bit. Or you're never going to have true financial freedom. I know, the subject sucks. And most people were always told growing up, don't approach that topic. Don't talk about finances. It's rude. It's not polite. Fuck that shit. And then you wonder why everyone around you is poor. Your entire family's poor. You're poor. Because you were never taught finances. It's like everyone always talks about they should have taught me that shit in school. But then nobody wants to talk about it. These are subjects you need to learn. And the last thing you can do, probably the sixth thing you can do, and this is arguably something that you might even want to do first. First and foremost, after you start getting your finances in order, or along with starting to get your finances in order, start reading books on finances. Start doing research on money, how money works, what kind of investment bank accounts. Do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm doing my own research to try to get myself out of debt and provide a financial security in the long run. Am I trying to get rich quick? Fuck no. That shit's nobody's gonna get rich quick. Okay? The amount of people that get rich quick is, if you round to the nearest round number, is fucking zero. More people go broke trying to do that shit. Just invest into what is easy and what works. If you want to go it slow, bonds aren't a bad play. They're slow. You definitely want to start early. The best time to start is 10 years ago. The second best time to start is right fucking now. And if you want any sort of financial security, the earlier you start, I wish I would have started 10 years. I wish I would have started when I was 20. I wish I would have started when I was 18. Just open an account and just keep adding to it. Whether it be with Fidelity, the Vanguard, whatever. Make your own choice. I personally chose Fidelity because they're well established. Vanguard's a good one. I hear a lot of good things about them. We got to start doing something. And trust me, I am broke. Like I'm dipping into my cash savings because I needed to get something in this paycheck. And I'm dipping into it for gas. But it's not my only savings. I'm definitely not a 10,000-aire, but I'm definitely a 1,000-aire. I definitely could be doing a lot worse. But, for a couple weeks ago, I was broke. I didn't even have the savings. I had $400 in savings, and that was it. That was all I had. So I'm doing everything in my power to get out of it. These are my financial recommendations as a non-financial advisor, just an average guy. This is what I'm personally doing to try to get out of debt. I have read a lot of books on finances. And you know what? Throughout my 20s, I've read a lot of books on finances, strategy, wisdom, and I didn't capitalize on jack shit. The best thing you can do is start today. You don't need to do it all at once. You don't need to become a financial expert, by tomorrow. If you could start with any book, Rich Daddy, Poor Daddy, the second one being The Compounding Effect. Start with those two books. The third one being, if you can start with another book, Extreme Money. Extreme Retirement. I believe it's by Jacob Lynn Fisker. I could be wrong on that. But Extreme Retirement being another great book. And it's more of a money philosophy book, but I think that's a must read. The earlier you can start, the better. And I'm right there with you. I'm 30. I am broke. But I don't plan to stay that way. And I hope you're with me. I hope you don't plan to stay that way either. Like, the best thing we can do is at least start today and keep working toward it. This is Junkyard Genius. Peace.